Hi everyone, my name's Emma and I'm here today to take you through a hormone balancing yoga practice. I myself have dealt with a hormone imbalance in the past and it is a continual journey, but I've shared below in the comments an article that I've written about my specific journey with polycystic ovaries and how I was able to heal the cysts on my ovaries from that journey. And part of that was a lot of yoga and meditation. And what I'd like to share with you today is a yoga sequence that really nourishes the adrenal glands, which are located just above the base of the top of your kidneys. And what happens with the adrenal glands is when we're in the stress response, when we're in fight or flight, when we're go, 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 the body gets really overworked and the adrenals are pumping and are unable to catch up. So this practice that we're about to take together will start to put you into a rest and digest state in your body, the parasympathetic nervous system. And what this does is starts to bring you down into a space where you're resting and digesting, where your hormones are able to slow down a little bit and things start to become a little bit more calm. And so when we're constantly in this stress state, it makes it a lot harder to not only digest food, but also for our hormonal imbalance to start to regulate. So before we get started, I think it's really important to set up a nice space, particularly with a more restorative yoga practice. So whether you'd like to set up some nice plants around you, make sure you're nice and warm and cozy, maybe you're turning a heater on and roll out your mat, maybe you'd like to burn some incense or a candle, whatever would set up your sanctuary. It's really important to feel like the space is nourishing you as well. We'll also use 2 blocks for our practice. If you don't have 2 blocks, you can also roll up 2 blankets and use them instead of the blocks when we get to that part. So we'll begin by starting in a comfortable seat. So if you'd like to take one of the blocks or maybe a folded blanket and place it underneath your sit bones, just to elevate your hips a little higher than your feet, it can feel a little bit more comfortable. And then find your seat and just start to close down your eyes. And let your palms rest down onto your thighs and turn them facing down. And as you close down your eyes, just start to bring your awareness to your breath. Noticing the inhale and the exhale. One of the most effective ways of bringing yourself into a parasympathetic nervous system response of a state of rest and digest is to use the breath. So first start by just noticing the natural, spontaneous rhythm of your own breath. And see if you can begin to find a gentle stacking of the spine, a softening of your shoulders, a very gentle tuck of your chin so that the crown of your head is elongating up towards the sky. And then beginning by taking a full breath into your nose. Just open your mouth and let out a sigh. One more like that. Full breath in. Anything you're holding on to, just let it go. We'll start to work with a counted breath now from your belly. Bringing your awareness down to the navel space, to your belly button. Inhaling for the count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold at the top for a moment. And then exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for a moment. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, breathing in from the belly, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then exhaling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continuing like this, inhaling for the count of 4 and exhaling for the count of 6. And what this breath does, by lengthening out the time of your exhale, it brings you into this state of rest and digest. It starts to calm your nervous system and you start to feel a relaxation response being activated in the body. We'll just do one more round. In for 4 and out for 6. You might choose to continue with this breath count as we continue to move through our poses. When you're ready to begin, just gently flutter your eyelids open, allow the light to come back in. Just really gently take the block or the blanket out from underneath you, and we'll really softly make our way over into our first shape, a child's pose. Start with your big toes together, knees out to the side. You could always bring a blanket under your knees if you'd like a little more support. And as you press your sit bones back, just start to walk your hands out in front of you and lower your forehead down to the mat. You could always take a block underneath your forehead if the earth feels a little far away. And then as you arrive into your child's pose, feel the sit bones lengthening back towards your toes and the crown of the head lengthening forward. So the spine is long, shoulders are soft. And then arrive back into your breath and see if you can pay particular awareness to the back of your body. Drawing breath in through the back of the ribs, expanding your wings, and then just letting breath fall out as you soften the belly. Feeling the breath roll in. You could even work with your counted breath, in for 4 and out for 6. So as you start to bring your awareness to the back of your rib cage, to the adrenal glands just above your kidneys, you're feeling them spread like you're just nourishing them with the life force, with the prana in your breath. And you'll feel over time the hips start to spread. Notice if you're clenching or holding through your belly. Allow the space in your navel just to soften. And using this as a moment of surrender. A moment of letting go of tension in the fingers, in the face, in the jaw. Like your whole body is just melting into the mat. You could choose to stay here for up to 5 minutes. We'll be here together for another couple of rounds of breath. Continuing to expand through the back of your body as you inhale and to soften down as you exhale. One final breath here together. Now, being really mindful, slowly begin to press into your hands and walk your way up onto all fours. And as you come here, we won't be here for too long. You might like to close down your eyes and just start to feel a bit of movement through the back of your body and find some movement. So not necessarily following any alignment here. Seeing if you can puff up through the back of the body, move the shoulders, and start to find some space in the spine, in the side of your waist. Let your head and neck be soft and heavy, and use this as an opportunity to just flush your body with breath. You might like to draw circles with the shoulders, waving through the spine. Just a couple more breaths here. Remembering to try and keep that exhale breath just a little bit longer. If you've gone one direction, make sure you go the other. Particular attention onto the back of the body. How could you breathe and nourish the space? Like you're nourishing your little angel wings on your back. And then really gently from here, we'll start to make our way down onto our back. So sliding 1 foot forward. Keep your eye gaze nice and soft as if you're sort of half asleep. But as you come and lay down onto your back, just tuck your chin in slightly so you're elongating through the crown of your head. Draw both knees up in towards your chest. Take your forearms underneath your knees and interlace your hands. Let your feet be soft. You might even give a little roll through your ankles. So your hands here are sort of holding the weight of your legs. Your chin tucks in, crown of the head long. Notice if there's tension in your shoulders. Can you feel the sensation of the shoulders dripping and melting to the mat? Close down your eyes. And same breath, can you become really aware of the breath as it moves through the back of your rib cage, expanding and filling up on the inhale and melting you to the earth on the exhale. feel like there's very little effort involved in holding this shape. And this pose is not only really beautiful for your hormones, but also for your digestive system, and creating a gentle space in the hips and nourishing the internal body, nourishing the kidneys, the adrenals, all the goodness. So this is a beautiful shape to come into, even just before bed, as a way of letting go, a way of just softening and releasing through the spine and the hips. And feeling the breath like it's providing medicine to the back of the bodies, this nourishing pranic life force of your breath. And we'll stay here together for about 5 more rounds of breath. See if you can really soften your feet and just feel the effects of gravity. Yeah, as though gravity was just giving you a very gentle press down into the mat, an earthing and grounding sensation through your whole body. Softening the space of the pelvis, letting go of any clenching through your pelvic floor. Soften your buttocks muscles. 3 more rounds of breath. And gently releasing your hands, draw both knees up and towards your chest, and gently roll over towards one side. Rest there for a moment with your ear on your bicep, just so that you start to feel the blood pressure regulate, so you're not dizzy as you stand up. Sit up, rather. And then slowly and gently pressing yourself back up to a seat. And we'll take 2 blocks now. You could also use your folded up blankets and place them like an equals sign at the back of your mat. So 2 options here, depending on how open you feel through your chest. We're going to take a supportive fish pose using the block. So if you're feeling like you're pretty tight through the chest, and stay up nice and high. If there's a little bit of space there, you might like to take your second block or your first block, however you're looking at it, flatter. So 2 options there. You'll feel it as you come in. So finding your way into the pose, the block or your blanket will be right underneath where your brow line is, or right below your nipple line. So we're feeling an opening through the front of the chest. Take your hands to the back of your head and gently find your way down to the second block. So it should feel as though your chin is supported. So you're not hyperextending, but the chin and the throat are opening. And then you can choose to keep the soles of your feet on the floor, or maybe you find a lengthening out through the feet. And you'll notice there's this gentle and supported lift through the heart. And the back of the body is being supported and nourished by the block. And I'm allowing the front line of my body to start to open. And again, soften the feet, close down your eyes. Let the arms hang down beside you, palms facing up. And arrive into your breath. So in this shape in particular, we're creating a lot of space for the internal organs of the body. We're supporting a gentle opening of the chest and the heart. Something that particularly in our modern lives, we round forward and close off the front of the body. And this also puts the body in a stress response. When we're running from a tiger or feel like we're in danger, chances are we start to huddle in. We close off and protect the internal organs. So this shape is opening you up and creating space. And the breath is telling your body that it's okay to relax. And again, come back to the count. 4 counts in, 6 counts out. And this is one of those shapes that you probably feel by now that you could stay in all day. I know I could. If you have the time and the space in your day, of course, it's perfectly safe to stay here for 5, 10, whatever feels good minutes. And we'll just be here for a few more breaths together. Finding softness. If you're feeling like you want a little bit more, you can always start to walk your feet in, connect the soles of the feet together, and feel your legs, your knees splay out to the side. And that creates a spreading across the front of the pelvis. and opening through the hips, nourishing into the reproductive organs. And just finding breath. Focus on the spreading and the opening that you're creating in the body. Feeling the breath move into the belly and then lengthen and soften through the spine as it rolls out. And take 2 more breaths here together. And then whatever position your feet are in, go ahead and place the soles of the feet back on the floor. Now chances are you've been here for a little while, so we don't want to just crank through the neck. So take your hands back to the base of your skull and gently lift your head up. Hit one hand to the head, one hand will take the block out from underneath you and we'll roll all the way back down. Be mindful of your other props. Just to lay onto your back for a moment. Take a little mini Shavasana before our final shape. And again, just breathing into the back line of the body. When you feel ready, both knees up in towards your chest. You roll over towards your preferred side, being mindful of your props. Rest there for a moment and gently find your way up. And we're going to make our way over to the wall for our final shape. You could also do this with a block just underneath your sit bones and lift your legs straight to the sky, but you'll find that using a wall perhaps feels a little bit more restorative. So come on over and find your preferred wall. So now that you've taken your mat and your things that make you feel comfortable, maybe even a blanket, over towards the wall, slide in really, really close. So the closer that you get your buttocks to the wall, the easier it is to come up. So we'll start with the right hip all the way in, rolling down onto your elbows, lifting your legs up towards the wall, maybe even sliding in so you're nice and close. Good. And then just allowing yourself to rest here with your feet up towards the sky. You can have your hands either resting, one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, or palms down beside you. Find a very gentle tuck in of your chin so the crown of the head is long. Good. And then just feel that the wall here is supporting you. So if you do need to place a little blanket underneath your buttocks or your sit bones, if it feels like the wall's a little far away, make sure you feel really comfortable. And then feel the grounding down of your sit bones. Feel the breath moving along the front line of your body. We're using this pose as our Shavasana for our practice. So allowing yourself to enter into a deep state of rest. Start by just feeling the 4 counts of breath in and the 6 counts of breath out. 4 in and 6 out. And as you breathe like this, you might start to feel the sensation of the energy, the blood flow moving from your toes all the way down the lines of your leg, pulling at your pelvis and towards the heart. Viparita Karani is the Sanskrit name of this pose, which translates to the fountain of youth posture. So there you go, you're getting a facelift at the same time. So as you allow yourself here to completely relax, notice if you're holding any tension in your fingers, let them soften. Let the face soften, the jaw soften. The space in between the eyebrow center, like it's just melting. And allowing yourself to completely relax. No need to hold on to anything. Allowing the support of your legs on the wall to bring you into a state of deep rest and relaxation. And you could stay here for 2, even up to 10 minutes. Just allowing, feeling, breathing. When you are ready to come out, very gently, just start to draw the knees in towards your chest. Stay there for a moment, pressing your feet onto the wall, knees in. Just allow a bit of blood flow and energy to come back towards your toes. And then really gently sliding over to the right side. Resting for a moment. allowing yourself plenty of time as you find your way back up and out of the pose. So I hope you've completed your practice feeling rested and a little bit more calm. And I really encourage you to make this a part of your weekly or even daily routine as a way to connect with yourself, to practice some deep, nourishing self-care, and to give your body a chance to start to have some space to regulate your hormones. Don't give up on your journey. It's entirely possible to be reconnected with yourself and to start to find alternative ways of healing and balancing yourselves. Balance is such a tricky thing in life that we're continually working with, so it never ends, which is why practices like these are so important as part of a regular routine. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon. Namaste.